The front seat is full of our stuff and baby stuff. Alice is doing the driving. And here is the main man, Fox mascot, looking really excited about his trip. Let's go fishing!
Sessions don't start much better than when you turn up at the lake and you are the only person there. You've got full pick of the swims, you can go wherever you want, and the chances are you're going to get on fish, which is of course the most important thing. But opportunities like that are very few and far between, as lakes these days are much, much busier. However, there are venues that you can go to where you have got full reign. Exclusive venues where just you or you and a couple of mates can go and fish, and you know that you're not going to be disturbed by anyone else. I am at one of those venues now. I've booked it out exclusively just for myself and my small family, and we're going to see how I get on. So I have come to the quite glorious Pines Lake at Blackthorn Fishery in Shropshire. These rolling hills, beautiful countryside, and just about the greatest frontier I've ever seen. Yeah, this is my bivvy for the weekend. They call it at Blackthorn a cabin. I mean, it is more of a house. You could literally live in this thing. It is high spec, total luxury. It's got all mod cons. There's enough space for 4 people, 2 couples, but I've just booked it out for myself, my missus, and my 9-week-old baby Orson. And so far it has been a lovely weekend. We haven't done an awful lot of fishing so far, simply because it is our first weekend away as a family, and we wanted to enjoy that time together. We've been out into the local town. We've had a meal and a few drinks out, and yeah, just really been enjoying this time. But we have done some fishing, and my fishing head is now on for the rest of my time here. And on that note, this morning, just as Ben got here with the cameras, I had a bit of a result. The sheep are kicking off. Yeah. Happy days. Yeah, got a lovely mirror in the net, and whilst Ben has got set all of his cameras up and stuff, I'm going to sort of secure the net. Because there's these big boards and scaffolding poles at the front of the swim, I want to ship the net out a little bit further so that the fish isn't hurting itself if it tends to thrash or anything like that. The fish has managed to unhook itself with the barbless hooks, which is great. And yeah, I'm just going to use the net cover. It'll allow me to ship the net out a little bit further. I don't have to get the fish out of the water, put it into a sling and then put it back in the water. And yeah, it'll allow me to know that that fish is secure. Ben can sort out his camera gear, and I can get the rod back out onto the swim. So it's a simple case of just unhooking it, or hooking it rather, underneath the net, and then I'm gonna ship that out so it's well away from the boards, and I'm going to put a peg in here, and that's going to hold the fish away from the boards nice and safe. £20, 15. That'll do. What do you think? Yes, yes it is. It's a big carp, £20. Yeah, you like that, don't you? £20. Ah, that's what it's all about. You're smiling now, aren't you? Yeah, well done, Daddy. Well done, Daddy. Fishing. Oh, that's brilliant. Brilliant. Well, this is the first one of the day and the first carp that Orson has ever seen. And he absolutely loves it, don't you? Yeah. Look at that. Oh, priceless. Absolutely priceless. Made up. I'm more made up about this than catching that fish, that's for sure. That he's having a proper smile. Look at him. Great. Awesome. Let's get it back. So I have done a little bit of fishing before the cameras got here. Like I said, with having this place to myself, I could literally pick and choose when I fished and really made sure that I got on the fish and nailed down where they were going to be. I spent a little bit of time walking around, searching out decent areas. Luckily, Google Maps has got a picture of the lake almost empty, and that way I've been able to highlight a few little areas that I'd like to fish, and I baited a few spots, a few of those areas. I baited them on the morning that we arrived and then fished them just for a couple of hours later that afternoon. And to that end, I did manage to get a bite, and it was a really, really nice fish. There we go, our first one of our little trip. I've only had the rods out maybe 2 hours. Solid bag tactics on a pre-baited spot. I put a little bit of pellet and some boilies on this morning, and what an awesome fish to kick off our little stay. Really nice scaly fish. Baby's crying in the background. So it has been pretty quiet since that first fish of the morning. It's been about 3 hours since then, and yeah, nothing. I was getting quite a lot of liners as well before I caught that fish, and yeah, no liners or anything sort of since about half an hour after catching that fish. And the sun's come out. I'm pretty sure the fish will have pushed up the shelf. I'm fishing at the moment at the bottom of the shelf in probably about 7 or 8 feet of water, and with this sun I just imagine that those fish are going to have come up in the water, and my best chance of catching them is going to be higher up on that shelf. So I'm going to chuck a lead back over there. I'm going to go round, and I'm actually going to washing line over to the other side, so there's not going to be any line in the water. They're going to be able to go up and down that shelf completely uninterrupted, and also not able to drag my lines down if they do hit my line, because when you fish on a shelf and you get a line bite, quite often that can roll the lead down the shelf. So fishing washing line style is going to eliminate any of that and hopefully get me another fish on the bank. So I've got around here, I've done the first rod, and my suspicions have definitely been confirmed. When I put that first rod in, I actually spooked one that was really close in. I couldn't see it at all, and I've dropped the rod in, or I dropped the solid bag in, and all of a sudden a big plume of smoke, and yeah, fish has bolted off. I've almost put it right on top of one. I've not put any bait down or anything. They're just there. They're just really close in along this margin. And then just here, as we've been walking along, we've seen another plume of smoke. I don't know whether it was a fish feeding or whether it's another one that we've spooked, but they're up and down this margin. You know, the sun rose from over there, so it's been on this margin all morning. now it's at its highest point, it's sort of game on, really. So I'm just going to have to hope that I haven't spooked everything, loop this bag on, and then I'm going to set my trap. So the bag's looped on. Now with the washing line, you're fishing your line over to the far bank, around an elastic band attached to a bank stick, and then back down into the water. So the only line that's in the water is from here to where my rig is going to be. So I've got an elastic band here. I'm just going to put it round my bank stick 3 times so it's nice and tight. Push my bank stick pretty firmly into the bank, and I'm just going to trickle a little bit of pellet in before I chuck out, and it is, you know, really close in. Okay, that should be perfect. I'm just going to literally swing it out and lower it down. Perfect. Then just let the line sink along the bottom, and then you just pull a loop through the elastic band, pull a loop of line through the elastic band like so, making sure that everything still stays slack. And then I'm just going to poke a little bit of grass through that loop just so that it holds in place. And then when we get a bite, that grass will snap like it's just done there. So that was probably a bit too small a piece of grass. So I'm just going to get a piece of grass and push it through that loop just to trap the line. When I get a bite, the fish will bolt out. That piece of grass will snap really easily, and you get a savage drop back on the bobbin. Oh, that's perfect. Very exciting now that we can actually see some fish. Great. Okay, so now I'm back round here. I'm just picking up the line off of the water. It's just sunk down a little bit, and I'm just trying to pick it right up so that none of it is underneath the water. And it's all, I mean, it will sort of just be lying across the surface at this range. I guess it's 50 yards, something like that. So, but none of it is going to be coming into contact with the fish. So you want to be fishing nice and tight directly to that elastic band. So yeah, really tighten your line. Click your bobbin on. Bobbin needs to be right at the top, and as long as it is right at the top, then you're going to be bang on. And then bites are literally drop backs as the fish runs away from the margin. The line pulls out of the elastic band, all your line falls slack, bobbin hits the deck, and you just get to the rod, wind in the slack, and hopefully you're connected. I really think this is going to work. Like, seeing the fish that we have along that far side, if this doesn't work, then I'm going to have a serious rethink of my tactics, because I am right in the zone now, definitely. So far on this session, I've pretty much just used solid bags. It's a setup that I pretty much take anywhere, and especially on venues like this where there aren't any silverfish or any bream, I know that it's going to be a really good presentation. The rig and the hooking mechanics of it are absolutely perfect, and yeah, I love using them. So I'll go through top to bottom of what I've got and how I set it up. So I always have a short length of submerge leader where allowed, just so I can loop to loop my bags on really, really easily. And then I've got a 3 ounce impact lead. 3 ounces the lowest I'd go to, and yeah, I tend to use somewhere between 3 and 4 ounces. 4 ounces for the bigger chucks, but where here, you know, I'm not chucking particularly far, I want to keep disturbance down as much as possible because it is only me here. I'm using the 3s. So with the impact lead, the swivel actually exits pretty much in the center of the lead. So you can see here, when the fish straightens that supple braided hook link, it's going to feel that full force of the weight straight away. So I really, really like them for solid bagging. Of course, that sits really, really nicely inside the bag and makes it fly super aerodynamic too. Then to the hook link is a supple braided hook link. This is actually a prototype material that should be coming out later this year. Really, really nice, super, super supple and quite fine hook length material. Then I've got a stiff rig beak point hook in a barbless and a tiny little CC Moore Northern Special Mini in a yellow. So that's the rig, and then it all goes inside a Rapid PVA bag. If you haven't used the Rapid system, it really does make solid bag fishing easy. It can be a little bit fingers and thumbs if you're not used to tying solid bags, but using this system makes it a lot easier, and you literally just need to do 4 or 5. Once you get the hang of it, it is super easy. So all I do is I crush down the loading tool and I put the bag onto the loading tool and then let it expand, and that holds the bag nice and tight. Once I've done that, I'll fill the bottom of the bag just with a small layer of pellets. You just need a couple of mil layer of pellets, and then you drop your hook bait on top. So the hook bait's right at the bottom of the bag. Then have a little pinch of pellets on top of that, and that's where I would then put my lead, so it sits above the hook bait and your hook link is coiled up in between the pop-up and the lead. I then fill the rest of the bag, and you've got to make sure that you've got a nice gap that gives you the space to twist. So that gap needs to be about 2 inches to give you enough space to twist. You then look around the PVA that's remaining on the loading tool, push it back onto itself, and then it adheres. The PVA adheres to itself, it's stuck down, and then all you need to do is fold the corners in, give them a little bit of a lick and stick, and then you've got a super aerodynamic bag that can cast really far and is very, very effective. And this bit looks a bit coloured here. Yeah, I've got to get a rod here. Definitely. A vortex here. I think the fish have just moved down here. Taken off my solid bag and put on just a normal hook link. Yeah, there are a couple right in front of this grill. Just a simple hook link and a slightly bigger hook bait. I just wondered whether they were just sort of missing the little hook baits in those bags. I don't really know. But they've been proper tricky today. There aren't a lot of fish in here, only 60, so it's not loads. There's a decent stock, but it's not loads. Certainly gives them plenty of room to grow. Right. It's all right there. Really not deep. Oh, they're that close in, they are that close. Right. Literally, I put the pellets in there, and one that's like round the bank up there is just spooked. I didn't think they'd be this spooky. Oh well, it's in. Now I'll just go back to the swim. See, this is what is nice about having the whole lake to yourself. You can literally put rods everywhere. That's got a bit of bite. I definitely should have turned the bite alarm on after repositioning this rod. It's been wholesale change pretty much in the last couple of hours. The fish have vacated that end, gone down the other end, and the beauty of being the only person here is that I just moved all my rods down that end. And this one was actually the last one that I did, just with a bag and a yellow hook bait. But I'd been walking around there and seeing more and more fish turn up in that end, and nothing had been happening. It is hard work today. It has been hard work, and yeah, just had to move, really. Just had to move the rods. So 3 washing lines over there, right on the margins. The fish are really close in. And here we go. Another one on. It has been a glorious day. Not necessarily good fishing conditions, but a beautiful spring day. Over the weekend we've had a bit of grim weather, and it's lovely to be out in conditions like this. Come on. Come on. Oh, let's go off now. Come on then. Come on then. Come on then. Yes. Yeah. That's a bit of a relief, to be honest, because it has been hard work today. But yeah, that just proves that you got to get on them. If the fish move, you got to get on them, because you ain't going to catch them if they're not there. And yeah, having a lake all to myself is a very nice way of making sure that I can get on them. And yeah, that's another lovely mirror. Brilliant. There we go. The fruits of quite a lot of hard work today, but we finally managed to work them out, get back on them, and yeah, I'd changed just slightly to a hooked on mesh bag of 8mm Bellichan pellets and a Northern Special wafter. Just a little bit of a bigger bright hook bait, a bit more in their face, a little bit less bait. And this one at just over £17 came to pay me a visit, and I mean, it's a stunning fish, and in a few years time these are going to be absolute chunks. The lake, the other lake at Blackthorn, has loads of 30s and quite a few 40-pounders, and they're all young fish, they're all the same strain. So there's good water around here, and these fish are gonna really pack this weight on. And yeah, it's gonna be boatloads of 30s in a few years time, that is for sure. Right, I'm out the clip on my left-hander. There's a massive boil over on the far side, and I've got to get that back. Oh well. There it is. Hey. Well, that was all a little bit hectic. We were just doing the photos of that last fish, and my left-hander has now burst off. Massive explosion on the far side as the fishing, I mean, it's only 18 inches of water that I'm fishing in. Fish exploded on the surface as it broke that little bit of grass on the washing line. Wound down, kept winding, and then eventually you connect with the fish. It is quite an exciting way of fishing, especially when it's shallow water, because you almost see the explosion on the far side before your bobbin hits the floor. Oh, and I haven't got a net set up. It's going to be interesting. Ow! I think Alice is watching a film, so she's not going to be able to help. Is the baby asleep? Right, just keep the tension on. Just keep the tension on, but not too much tension. You do know what to do. You've done it before. Like yeah, but just keep the tension on to keep a bend in that rod. Keep a bend in the rod. That's it. There you go. You got it. You got it.
It's going
yeah, pull the rod over to this side, to the left. That's it. That's it.
I've forgotten how to do it.
It was about a year ago, more than a year ago. Keep the bend in the rod. Do you want to finish it off?
Not really.
No?
I forgot how to do it.
Thanks. Go on, are you going to net him? You can net him for me. Yeah, yeah. Don't put him, scoop him up with the net. Okay, and I'll just draw him over, and when I say, you lift up, okay? Got it? Right. No, now. Yeah, well done. Thanks, babes. What do you reckon to him?
Scaly bagger.
Scaly banger. He is a scaly banger.
Ah, yes.
Thanks, babes. So maybe Orson would like to see the scaly banger. Go and ask him. Teamwork makes the dream work, eh? You don't want to see Daddy's fish? You don't want to see Daddy's fish? Is it too bright for you? Yeah? And you're going to go back inside where it's nice and shady. Hmm? Are you going to say anything for the camera? Have you got any words of encouragement? Yeah? No? No? You're just going to fall asleep? That's, yeah, wise words there. See? No. I've got nothing for you. Nothing.
Hard life, isn't it?
It is a hard life. Go on, Mum, take him in and we'll do it. Bless him. Oh, we got you this special outfit and everything. And you promised us you were going to show off on camera. He has a carpier hat than all of us. Nice, nice. Right, let's get this fish out. How's about that for a mega scaly one? Yeah, as they say, like buses. Got it right. had the first bite of the afternoon and literally doing the photos, and this one has burst into life, and what a cool character this one is. Brilliant time, and yeah, obviously expertly netted by Alice, I have to say. Cookies, yeah, that'd be great. Please, Ben, you up for cookies? Yeah. How's about that? You're playing a fish, and the wife says, "Shall I go and make cookies?" It can't get much better than that. And I know that this type of fishing, you know, luxury cabins and lodges, this fish is proper going for it, isn't for everyone, and it's not everyone's everyday fishing. You know, it's not the type of fishing I'd be doing week in, week out. This one, proper having a ruck. But to come and have a chill time with the family, you know, I've spent 3 days here. I've only fished hard for 1 day, that's today. Other than that, I've had the rods in for a couple of hours each day. And it's just been nice. I've just been able to chill out, have a really nice bit of family time. I'm sure Alice has enjoyed it because she loves getting away. And I'm pretty sure Orson's enjoyed it too, because we've had lots of smiles and lots of fun, which melts my heart every time. But this is cracking. The washing lines are definitely changing to fishing those washing lines, and coming down this other end has completely transformed my day. Oh, is that leather? Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that's that leather. So there is one leather carp in here, so the owner tells me, and I am certain it was that. He literally, the owner was with us, Charlie, about half an hour ago, and we were talking to him about the stock, saying, you know, there's 130 and this many 20s. And he said there's one leather, and I'm sure that's it. I'm gonna look like a right mug if it's not. But it didn't have many scales, and it looked like it had a little bit of a withered fin. Yes, yes it is, it is, it is. It's got a funny dorsal. Oh, wicked. Or is it? Maybe it's not. Yes, it is. It's got a few scales just along its back, but I'm making a meal of that. Wow, he's in. Let's have a look. Yeah. Now, the skeptics would say because he's got a few scales along his back that he's technically not a leather. But I'd say that technically is a leather. And if you don't believe me, ask Simon Scott. Wicked. A genetic leather, not a technical leather. There we go. A genetic leather. So I'm claiming that. Little stubby dorsal. There we go. Pretty sure that this one has just been talked on the bank. It was the last fish that we were talking about with the owner. He said that there is one leather in here, and I'm pretty sure that that's it. It's got most of the hallmarks of a leather. It's got a little funny dorsal fin. Its other fins just looking a little bit like they're going to wilt away with age. It's got that pronounced lateral line. However, it does have a few scales. So if you think that this is a leather, or if you think that this is a mirror, let me know in the comments below, because I'm unsure. As far as genetics go, they call it a leather, but it does have a couple of scales. Either way, I'm absolutely over the moon. The sun is just going down over the hill. I've had a fantastic day's fishing today and a brilliant, brilliant trip here at Pines Lake, Blackthorn Fishery. Fantastic. Did I say he was a 20 pounder? He's a 20 pounder. Scraper. Awesome. Well, I was just about to do a piece to camera on the bait that I've brought with me on my session. And as I was preparing for that, I was just about to press send on my Just Eat order to get some food in for the night, delivered to the cabin. And that bobbin has smashed the deck and playing another carp. But yeah, in terms of what bait I've brought with me, I've kept it really simple. I brought a bag of Bellichan pellets with me, and I brought a bag of Pacific tuna 10mm boilies. That's it. I didn't want to complicate things. I know that these fish are going to be keen to eat pellets and boilies, because that's what they feed them here. Ooh, we've got a blooming running race going on behind us here. It's kicking right off. Sounds like a stampede coming down the road. And then I've taken my solid bag bucket that's got my oily bag mix and my all season bag mix. I've used a bit of both on this session, in both mesh and in solid bags, caught using both. I didn't want to take loads of bait, partly because I was in the family car, the Focus, rather than the van, so I didn't have the ability to bring loads and loads of options, but also I didn't feel like I needed to. And just fishing simply, getting on the fish, making the changes when necessary, that's been the key to catching fish. And ultimately, when you come and book somewhere like this, if you've got the whole place to yourself, you have got the opportunity to do that. And if you don't have the whole place to yourself, if you're here with a mate, then you're both sharing each other's captures, so it's just as good. Although I'd have definitely preferred to be on the right hand side today. Although I caught the biggest fish on the left. Right, I'm gonna try and concentrate, get this one in. Last knockings. Happy days. Happy days. What a fantastic day I've had here. That's another lovely fish, and yeah, perfect way to wrap it up, I think. Let's have a look. Well, I'll just celebrate the day with a homemade cookie. They're actually pretty good. Alice has done a good job. I'll finish this and get the fish out. She literally never makes cookies. She's done it just for this. Well, there we go. A lovely, rather measly, not measly, measly 18 pounder, and a brilliant way to call an end to my fishing. I think it makes sense for me to wind in the rods. I've had a fantastic day, and then just enjoy the takeaway that should be turning up pretty soon in peace with the family. I've had a fantastic weekend, a fantastic day's fishing, and yeah, hopefully it goes some way to show that, you know, fishing isn't just about hardcoring it out on really hard knocks venues, that type of fishing. You can come away with the family for a weekend, or just with friends, with the missus, whatever, and enjoy both their company and wetting a line as well.